Welcome to Hack Your Mind. In a satisfying relationship, everything works out as it should. Sure, there may be times when you disagree or run into other obstacles, but you usually get along, talk honestly about problems, and enjoy each other's presence. The issue of toxic relationships is another. You might feel exhausted or depressed after spending time with your partner in a toxic relationship. Even though you still love your partner, the relationship may no longer feel joyful. It may be challenging for you to recognize the warning signs that a relationship is poisonous when they begin to appear. Some of these indicators may be present in you, your partner, or the relationship itself. This video will look at 16 telltale signs that you are in a toxic relationship. Number 1. Lack of support. A shared desire to see the other thrive in all aspects of life is the foundation of healthy partnerships. But when conditions deteriorate, every accomplishment turns into a contest. In other words, it doesn't feel good to be with you anymore. You don't feel encouraged or supported and don't have faith in them to stand up for you. Instead, you can feel their wants are the only things that count and that your needs and interests are unimportant. Number 2. Harmful communication. Now, most interactions are characterized by sarcasm or criticism. They're fueled by contempt rather than kindness and respect for one another. Do you ever notice yourself making rude comments to friends or family? You may mockingly repeat what they said when they're out of the room. You might even begin avoiding their calls to avoid the inevitable conflicts and hatred. Number 3. Jealousy or envy. Even though it's great to feel a little envious occasionally, it can become a problem if your envy prevents you from thinking positively about your partner's accomplishments. The same is true of envy. It is an entirely normal human emotion. However, your relationship may suffer if it results in ongoing mistrust and suspicion. Number 4. Possessing self-control. Does your lover frequently inquire as to where you are? When you respond to their texts later, or when they have to contact you often before you do, perhaps they get annoyed or irritated. These actions could be caused by jealousy or a lack of trust, but they could also come from a need to be in charge, which can worsen a relationship. These control attempts may occasionally point to abuse. More on this later. Number 5. Intimacy. Intimacy is harmed by holding on to grudges and allowing them to fester. A tiny chasm might grow larger over time due to anger or hatred. Also, consider whether you tend to harbor these complaints in silence since you don't feel comfortable speaking out about what upsets you. If you don't feel like your partner will listen to your worries, your relationship could become poisonous. Number 6. Deception. Whether it's to avoid spending time with your spouse or because you're concerned about how they react if you disclose the truth, you find yourself making up lies about where your whereabouts and who you meet with all the time. Number 7. Disrespectful tendencies. Red flags include always being late, casually forgetting about plans, or doing other things that show disrespect for your time. Starting a discussion about this behavior may benefit those who find it difficult to make and adhere to commitments on time. If it's not deliberate, things might get better after you explain why it upsets you. Number 8. Poor financial practices. A degree of agreement about spending or saving money is typically required when you share your finances with a spouse. However, suppose one partner decides to spend money on things the other partner disapproves of. In that case, the relationship is not inherently toxic. It can be dangerous if you and your spouse have made financial agreements and one keeps breaking them, like buying expensive things or taking out too much cash. Number 9. Persistent anxiety. Of course, common life difficulties like a family member's illness or a job loss might lead to some friction in your relationship. But being on edge all the time, even when no external stressors are present, is a telltale sign that something is wrong. Because of this constant stress, your physical and mental health may suffer. You may often feel miserable, physically and emotionally drained, or sick in other ways. Number 10. Disregarding your needs. Toxic relationships are transparent when you do what your partner wants, even if it goes against your preferences or comfort level. For instance, they organize a trip to take you away on your mother's birthday. However, you underline that all dates were acceptable only if you didn't miss your mother's birthday on the 17th, when they asked you what convenient days. Since you don't want to start an argument, you shouldn't bring this up. Thus, you say, "Great, I'm overjoyed." Number 11. Broken connections. To prevent arguments with your partner or to avoid having to explain the state of your relationship, you've stopped hanging out with friends and relatives. Alternatively, much of your free time is spent interacting with your partner or thinking about your relationship. Number 12. Insufficient self-care. In a toxic relationship, you can abandon your daily self-care practices. You might even stop engaging in activities you formerly loved. Put your health last and give up your free time. This could be because you need more energy to do these things, or your partner doesn't like it when you do your own items. Number 13. Wanting a change. You may decide to stay in the relationship since you still enjoy it. You may believe that if you only alter yourself and your behavior, the other person will also change. Number 14. Treading carefully. You avoid trouble by keeping your problems to yourself because you're afraid that talking about them will make things worse. Number 15. I need to do something correctly. You may only be in the right relationship if you can do something right. Relationships are crucial, and being in a toxic one can cost you a lot of time and energy that you could be using far more effectively. Be assertive if you need to remove yourself from a toxic relationship. Stay loyal to who you are and what you believe in, and listen to your heart. Number 16. It constantly feels awful. You go to sleep feeling empty and wake up feeling the same way. You can feel this sting as you watch other couples acting like happy couple goals. Why couldn't you experience that kind of love? But you must create a path to find yourself. It's never easy to end a relationship, but if you stay too long in a poisonous one, all your courage, strength, and self-control will be lost. And once that occurs, you are helpless. Thank you for your time today. Please use this video to recognize harmful behaviors in yourself, your partner, and your relationship. If you think you can add to this list, let us know in the comment section below.